This one's going to be about bullying. The first thing I will say when it comes to bullying is that this is a universal subject. The way I see bullying is someone that deliberately does harm to another person, both physically and mentally. We will figure out some little strategies to help deal with bullying at the school. One of the questions I usually get is simply, how did I personally deal with it? There were a few instances where I handle it in not so great ways, and then I handle it in very great ways. Not so great as in like getting into fights and all that kind of stuff too. That stuff was, it's just self-defense and all that kind of thing. That's why I don't really like to talk about it too much because, it's like I don't want to hurt people like that. It's one of those things where I always say, it's like when you get bullied, don't bully back. When they kind of get to you, it starts a big fire, and then the fire starts to spread, and then it would affect other people that would not want to be a part of this. No one wants to be involved in a bullying situation. It's no fun. It's no fun for the victim. It's no fun for friends or family and all that kind of stuff too. But it must be dealt with. Absolutely. So the way I personally dealt with bullying is simply to not get involved. These are the good ways I managed to figure out how to do. So, not getting involved. By this, I mean when they try to harass, I just don't give them the satisfaction of poking fun and to bring me down. No, instead, I just simply walk away. Now, walk away and don't say anything. So most of the things that I do happens to be not involving verbal communication. That's why I'm usually slow to find my words these days too, and that's why I kind of prefer to some silent alternatives, that kind of thing. One of the things I like to do is just to write whatever. Write either feelings or if I write what my favorite stuff is, and a lot of times for the most of it, I would like to write stories. I don't really, I'm not really sure if I've ever shown most of my stories. I've shown a bunch of them down over in Population 1 and Becoming 1. Those are a few examples and that kind of stuff, but those are just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to stories, and they comfort me, and very silent, and I don't really talk that much, but I do believe that they work. So to me, I think it can be pretty easy. They may say some very rude stuff, but the way I like to see it is when you hear all these different things, don't hesitate to find a good, encouraging words from other people, whether it be from your parents or your good friends. They can definitely help you. When these things kind of happen, don't ever hesitate to reach out. Reach out to anyone, whether it be your teachers, parents, or maybe even your neighbor or your best friend. When it comes to these things too, there will be moments where it's good to talk about the good things, and then there are some moments that talk about things that's maybe concerning a little bit too and difficult to talk about, and that's okay. It's all about the balance of showing off what's been troubling in order to make good things that happen after talking about them. And that's what makes a good friend. So friends out there, take the challenge by heart, is to be a good listener. And that's all you pretty much need to know. Be a good listener, and also provide tips and tricks, and also to stand up for your best friends. We can do this. No one is put under the bus when I'm around. And you can do the same thing too. Make sure that no one is under the bus, because everyone is in it together. This is a team effort. Take the opportunity by heart and become a team leader. We can do this. We can talk about this. All these things that go on. If I wish I had done things differently, I would most likely say to reach out towards my parents for these situations. That's one thing I wish I could have done, because I'm not going to get too involved in the whole living in separate houses and all that kind of stuff too, because that's probably going to be a video for another day. So one more thing, and then we'll close. A small form of bullying is to ignoring other people. People who feel ignored or left out, left in the dust, and it really doesn't quite feel good. For people that do that, I wonder if it is because you're probably nervous to say, well, whatever. What do you say? What do you do when people want to be in your place? So one thing I will say about this is just be yourself. Just treat people with autism as the way you want to be treated, and all that kind of thing too. And people with autism, feel free to learn from people without autism. Make it a goal to understand other people and what their social skills are. Do they dress differently, or do they have different interests? It's all up to you to see if they're a good friend to you. And they can be. I do believe that it is very much important to reach out to people that feel like that they are alone. Now, reach out to people that they are in need. And I know sometimes it can be quite scary for these kind of things too. Like maybe you're afraid to figure out what should I say to them and all that kind of thing too, because they are different from one another, and it's okay to feel that way. All you have to do is just simply talk. It can be just about anything. Talk about your favorite movies or favorite TV show, or what do you want to be when you grow up. It's pretty easy, only when you start talking, because I believe that children who feel neglected and alone, then they would definitely try to hide either a fear of saying the wrong thing out loud, or fear of people that may come off as being rude and may be a potential bully, that kind of thing too. Looks can be deceiving, but you just never know unless you give it a try. Try to get to know each other, even if it's just a simple hello or hi, Tyler. That's usually why I kind of get oftentimes in school is when people say hi, Tyler, and it always makes you feel good. It always makes you feel pretty well balanced, and that time being noticed. And it's always kind of fun. I love getting to know different people here and there too. So yeah, it's with the whole bullying thing, I know it can be extremely rough. It's really hard to talk about that kind of stuff, but yes, we do need to talk about that, and we talk about it, and then we figure out how to stop bullying in school once and for all. And to basically handle them, and how to deal with them, to negotiate with them, and learn how to be your own person when it comes to these areas. Because I still do get some bullying from time to time, whether it be offline or online, and it's a bummer. I do get sensitive about that, but the last thing I want people to see me in person is to let them get to me. And I do my very best not to do that. So that's why we like to talk about that before things get too out of whack. And so that's why I would definitely say about these things. It's important to talk about them. It's important to discuss and work through with them. School is a very tough time for a lot of people, and especially with those with autism. If you're looking for some tips to help you deal with the stress at school, feel free to check this video I just made, which is right over here, right there. So feel free to check that out. And with that, just hang in there. I'm not giving up on you. I know it's difficult, so let's get back into the race.